Leave her alone, Sophia said, stepping forward. This has nothing to do with her. Oh, but it does, Victor said. She married Marcus. That makes her part of this story. Tell me, Mrs. Vale, did your husband mention what business he was in 12 years ago? What he was involved in that made his little sister witness something she shouldn't have? Aria's blood ran cold. What are you talking about? Weapons, Victor said bluntly. Marcus was moving weapons through the port. Illegal weapons destined for very dangerous people. And sweet little Sophia here saw the exchange. Saw everything. Took photos like the smart girl she was. Marcus wouldn't, Aria whispered, but doubt crept in. She'd known Marcus had a dark past, but weapons trafficking? Oh, he would and he did, Victor continued. And when I found out his sister had evidence that could destroy us both, I had to act. Took her right out from under his nose. Gave her a choice. Disappear and stay quiet, or her brother dies. Sophia was crying openly now. He was going to kill Marcus. I had to protect him. So I agreed to vanish, to never contact anyone from my old life. Victor gave me a new identity, money to start over, and I've been hiding ever since. But Marcus quit the weapons business, Aria said, understanding dawning. That's why he's legitimate now. He got out. Because his sister disappeared, Victor confirmed. Because he thought his enemies had taken her. The guilt, the grief, it changed him. Made him soft. Made him sloppy. And I've been waiting all these years for the right moment to use this knowledge. Can I help you? Sophia asked, her voice shaky. I'm Aria, she said gently. Aria Vale. I think you knew my husband a long time ago. Sophia dropped the painting. It clattered to the floor as all color drained from her face. No. No, you need to leave. Now. Sophia, please. Your brother has been searching for you for 12 years. He never gave up. He never stopped hoping you were alive. He shouldn't have, Sophia said, tears streaming down her face. It's not safe. You being here, him knowing, it's not safe. Safe from what? Aria pressed. From who? But Sophia was backing away, shaking her head frantically. You don't understand. If Marcus comes looking for me, if Victor finds out he knows where I am, people will die. Tell him I'm sorry. Tell him I love him. But tell him to forget about me. I can't do that, Aria said firmly. He's your brother, Sophia. He deserves answers. He deserves to stay alive, Sophia shot back. Which he won't if he keeps pushing. The front door chimed. Both women froze as Victor Zhao walked in, flanked by two large men. His eyes moved from Sophia to Aria, and his smile was cold and knowing. Well, well, Victor said. Mrs. Vale. What a surprise to see you here. Tell me, did you come alone, or is your husband lurking nearby? The confrontation. Aria's mind raced. She had to keep Victor talking, had to give Marcus time to realize something was wrong. I came alone. I was looking for art to buy for our home. Don't lie, Victor said, moving closer. You're here for her, aren't you? Did Marcus finally figure it out? Did he finally put the pieces together? I don't know what you're talking about, Aria said, positioning herself between Victor and Sophia. She's protecting you, Victor told Sophia. How touching. Does she know the truth? Does she know why you disappeared? Why I'm the only one who knows where you've been all these years? Marcus's expression turned deadly. When was this taken? 3 days ago. They met twice that week, always in public places. They seemed to know each other well. Marcus stood abruptly, moving to the window. His hands clenched into fists at his sides. He's known where she was all along. All these years, while I've been searching, tearing myself apart, he's known. Aria went to him, placing a hand on his arm. We don't know that for certain. Maybe he found her recently, just like we did. Then why not tell me? Marcus turned to face her, pain and fury warring in his eyes. Why meet with her secretly? Maybe she doesn't want to be found, Arya said gently. Maybe she's afraid. The words hung in the air. Marcus's expression crumbled. Afraid of me? Not of you, Arya said quickly. But maybe of the life she left behind. The memories. We don't know what happened to her, Marcus. We don't know why she disappeared or what she's been through. The gallery. They went to the Belltown Gallery that afternoon. Arya insisted on going in alone first. I'm an artist, she reasoned. I have a legitimate reason to browse a gallery. If she sees you, if she recognizes you, she might run. Marcus clearly hated the plan, but he agreed. I'll be right outside. Any sign of trouble, you leave immediately. The gallery was small but elegant, showcasing contemporary artists. Arya wandered through the space, pretending to study the paintings while her eyes searched for Sarah Mitchell. She found her in the back room, carefully hanging a new piece. Up close, there was no doubt. This was Sophia Vale. She had Marcus's eyes, his cheekbones, even some of his mannerisms. She was beautiful, poised, and looked absolutely terrified when she turned and saw Arya staring at her. The Seattle connection. The private jet touched down in Seattle just after dawn. Arya watched Marcus pace the cabin, his phone pressed to his ear as he barked instructions in rapid succession. This was a different side of him, focused and intense, every bit the powerful businessman who'd built an empire from nothing. The investigator will meet us at the hotel, Marcus said after ending his call. He has information about a woman who matches Sophia's description working at an art gallery in the Belltown district. Arya's heart quickened. An art gallery? Marcus, that can't be coincidence. I know, he said grimly. Sophia loved art. If she's alive, if she's been in hiding all these years, an art gallery would be exactly where she'd gravitate. At the hotel, a nervous-looking man in his 50s waited in their suite. Mr. Vale, I'm Robert Chen, the investigator. I've been tracking this lead for 3 weeks. Show me everything, Marcus commanded. Robert spread photos across the coffee table. Arya leaned in, studying images of a young woman with dark hair. Even in profile, partially obscured by sunglasses, Arya could see the resemblance to Marcus. Her name is Sarah Mitchell, Robert explained. She's been working at the Belltown Gallery for 4 years. Before that, her history gets murky. No employment records, no social media presence before she appeared in Seattle. It's like she materialized out of thin air. Or someone gave her a new identity, Marcus said, his voice tight. Did you approach her? No, sir. You said to observe only. But there's something else. Robert pulled out another photo. This one showed Sarah Mitchell talking to a man outside the gallery. Arya's blood ran cold. That's Victor Zhao, she breathed. I was curious, Arya admitted. I know. She told me. Marcus turned the key, pushing the door open. No one else has been in here in 12 years. Just me. Arya stepped inside and her breath caught. The room was a shrine to Sophia. Posters on the walls from bands a teenage girl would love. A desk covered in schoolbooks and art supplies. A bed with a purple comforter. Everything preserved exactly as it had been. This was her room, Marcus said quietly. From our old house. When I bought this place, I had everything moved here. Exactly as she left it that morning. Arya's eyes filled with tears. She saw love in every corner, every preserved item. This room was Marcus's heart, frozen in time, waiting for his sister to come home. I come here when I need to remember why I'm doing all this, Marcus continued. Why I can't give up, can't stop searching. Arya walked to the desk, seeing drawings and paintings scattered across it. She was an artist. Yes, Marcus smiled sadly. Just like you. She would have loved meeting you. Then we'll find her, Arya said with fierce determination, turning to face him. We'll bring her home, Marcus. I promise. He crossed the room, pulling Arya into his arms. She wrapped hers around him, holding him as his shoulders shook with silent emotion. For the first time since she'd met him, Marcus Vale let down all his walls, let himself be vulnerable, let himself hope. And Arya held him, this complicated man who'd bought her as a contract wife but was becoming so much more. In that room filled with memories and love and loss, surrounded by Sophia's dreams frozen in time, Arya made a silent vow. She would help Marcus find his sister. Whatever it took. However long it required. Because somewhere along the way, this arrangement had stopped being about debt and contracts. It had become about something real. It had become about love. To his lips, pressing a kiss to her knuckles. Thank you, Arya. For caring. For wanting to help. You have no idea what it means to me. As they walked into the house together, Arya realized something had fundamentally shifted between them. They were no longer strangers bound by contract. They were becoming partners. Maybe even friends. And if the racing of her heart when Marcus touched her was any indication, maybe they were becoming something more. The locked room. That night, Arya couldn't sleep. Her mind raced with thoughts of the trip tomorrow, of Sophia, of the way Marcus had almost kissed her in the car. Around 2 a.m., she gave up and wandered downstairs, finding Marcus in his study surrounded by files and photographs. Can't sleep either, she asked from the doorway. He looked up, running a hand through his disheveled hair. Too much on my mind. Arya entered, moving to look at the papers spread across his desk. She saw photos of a beautiful teenage girl with dark hair and Marcus's eyes. This is Sophia? Yes, Marcus said softly. These are from right before she disappeared. She looks like you, Arya observed. Same eyes. Same smile. She was the only family I had left after our parents died, Marcus said, staring at the photo. I was supposed to protect her. I failed. Without thinking, Arya moved behind him, placing her hands on his shoulders. She felt him tense, then slowly relax under her touch. You didn't fail. You've spent 12 years searching. That's not failure, Marcus. That's love. He reached up, covering one of her hands with his own. They stayed like that for a long moment, connected in the quiet darkness. Come with me, Marcus said suddenly, standing. There's something I want to show you. He led her upstairs to the 3rd floor, to the locked door Arya had discovered. Her heart quickened as he pulled out a key. You asked Mrs. Reeves about this room. Dear sister. For a long moment, Marcus studied her face. Then, slowly, he reached out and cupped her cheek with his hand. The touch was gentle, almost reverent. You're remarkable, you know that? Arya's breath caught at the contact. I'm just trying to be a good wife. You're so much more than that, Marcus murmured, his thumb brushing across her cheekbone. More than I deserve. The air between them charged with electricity. Arya felt drawn to him like a magnet, wanting to close the distance, to taste his lips, to discover if the connection she felt was real or imagined. Marcus leaned closer, his eyes darkening, and Arya's heart hammered in her chest. This wasn't part of the contract. This wasn't pretend for an audience. This was real. His lips were inches from hers when his phone rang, shattering the moment. Marcus pulled back, checking the screen. His expression hardened. I have to take this. He stepped out of the car, walking a few paces away as he answered. Arya watched him through the window, seeing his posture tense, his free hand clenching into a fist. Something was wrong. When he returned, his face was pale. That was my investigator. He found something. A lead on Sophia. That's wonderful. Arya exclaimed. Maybe, Marcus said grimly. Or maybe it's a trap. Either way, I have to follow it. I'm leaving tomorrow morning for Seattle. Then I'm coming with you, Arya said firmly. Absolutely not. It's too dangerous. Marcus, we just agreed I'm part of this now. If there's danger, we face it together. They stared at each other, wills clashing. Finally, Marcus sighed. You're stubborn. You married an artist, Arya reminded him with a small smile. We're all stubborn. Despite everything, Marcus laughed. A real, genuine laugh that transformed his entire face, making him look younger, lighter. Fine. But you follow my lead, no arguments. Deal? Deal, Arya agreed, offering her hand to shake. Marcus took it, but instead of shaking, he brought her hand. Resources to keep searching. So I have connections in every city, every country. So that if there's even the smallest chance she's alive somewhere, I can find her. Understanding crashed over Arya. That's why you needed a wife. For appearances. To seem stable and settled while you search. Partially, Marcus admitted. But also because Victor has been trying to take over my operations for years. A wife makes me look less vulnerable. Less focused solely on business and more on building a family. It throws him off balance. Does he know something about Sophia? Arya asked, pieces clicking together. Is that why he mentioned her? Marcus's expression darkened. I think so. I've suspected for years that he was involved in her disappearance. But I have no proof. Nothing concrete. They pulled into the mansion's driveway, but neither moved to exit the car. Arya turned to face Marcus fully. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because it's my burden to carry, he said quietly. Not yours. But I'm your wife now, Arya said, and was surprised to realize she meant it. Somewhere in the past 2 weeks, this had become more than just a contract. Even if it's temporary, even if it's not real in the traditional sense, I'm still your partner in this. Let me help you. Marcus looked at her, really looked at her, and Arya saw vulnerability in his eyes she'd never witnessed before. Why would you want to help me? I bought you, Arya. I forced you into this marriage. You saved my father, she corrected. You could have destroyed him, destroyed us. Instead, you offered a solution. Maybe not a conventional one, but it was better than the alternative. And now, knowing why you need this arrangement, I want to help. You don't know what you're offering, Marcus said, shaking his head. The world I operate in, the people I deal with, they're dangerous. Then protect me, Arya said simply. The way you protected me tonight from Victor. But let me be part of this. Let me help you, Finn. That's enough, Marcus said, his voice deadly quiet. But Victor wasn't finished. He looked directly at Arya. Ask him about his sister. Ask him why he's really building this empire. Maybe you'll understand what you've gotten yourself into. Marcus moved so fast Arya barely saw it. One moment Victor was smiling, the next he was slammed against a car, Marcus's arm across his throat. You don't talk to my wife. You don't look at my wife. You don't breathe in her direction. Are we clear? Crystal, Victor choked out. Marcus released him and immediately turned to Arya, his expression transforming from rage to concern. Are you all right? Arya nodded, shaken. She'd never seen Marcus lose control before. The violence had erupted so quickly, so naturally. It should have frightened her. Instead, she found herself touching his arm. I'm fine. Let's just go home. The truth revealed. In the car, Marcus was silent, his jaw clenched, his hands gripping the steering wheel too tightly. Arya studied his profile, thinking about Victor's words. His sister. What did that mean? Marcus, she said softly. Who is Victor Zhao? A business rival. Someone who wants what I have. That's not the whole truth. When he didn't respond, Arya pressed on. He mentioned your sister. I didn't know you had a sister. Marcus's knuckles turned white on the steering wheel. For a long moment, she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, quietly, he said, I had a sister. Sophia. She disappeared 12 years ago. Aria's breath caught. Disappeared? She was 17. I was 21, just starting to build my company. One day she went to school and never came home. His voice was flat, emotionless, but Arya heard the pain beneath. The police investigated for months. Found nothing. No body, no evidence, no leads. She simply vanished. I'm so sorry, Arya whispered. That's why I do what I do, Marcus continued, as if she hadn't spoken. The money, the power, the empire Victor mentioned. It's all so I have. What surprised her was how natural it felt. How his hand at the small of her back steadied her. How his presence made her feel safe rather than suffocated. When they danced, his arm around her waist, their bodies moving together to the music, Arya found herself forgetting it was all pretend. You're doing well, Marcus murmured against her ear. Everyone believes we're madly in love. Maybe I'm a better actress than I thought, Arya said, trying to keep her tone light even as her heart raced from his nearness. His hand tightened slightly on her waist. Maybe you are. The threat. They were leaving the gala when it happened. A man stepped in front of them in the parking area, blocking their path to the car. He was tall, silver-haired, with cold eyes and a smile that made Arya's skin crawl. Marcus Vale, the man said. I heard you'd gotten married. How unexpected. Victor, Marcus's voice went cold as ice. Get out of my way. Is this her? The artist? Victor's gaze slid over Arya like oil. Pretty thing. I wonder if she knows what kind of man she married. What you're really capable of, Marcus. Marcus moved, putting himself between Arya and Victor. Walk away, Victor. Now. Or what? You'll add me to your list of enemies? Victor laughed. I just wanted to meet the woman brave or foolish enough to marry you. Tell me, Mrs. Vale, do you sleep well at night knowing your husband destroys lives for profit? Not even cleaning staff? Not even me, Mrs. Reeves said softly. He cleans it himself, once a week. Always alone. After the housekeeper left, Arya stood staring at the door. What was Marcus hiding? What could be so private, so secret, that he locked it away even from his household staff? The charity gala. 2 weeks after their wedding, Marcus informed her they had their first public appearance. A charity gala benefiting children's hospitals. We need to look like a real couple, he said over dinner. Affectionate. In love. That's quite an acting job, Arya said, taking a sip of wine. You'll manage. I've arranged for a stylist to bring dresses tomorrow. Choose whichever you like. The night of the gala, Arya stood before the mirror in a stunning midnight blue dress that hugged her curves and fell in elegant waves to the floor. Diamond earrings Marcus had given her sparkled at her ears. She looked like someone who belonged in his world. Marcus appeared in the doorway, devastatingly handsome in a black tuxedo. For a moment, he simply stared at her, something unreadable in his eyes. You look beautiful. Thank you, she said, her cheeks warming. You clean up pretty well yourself. In the car, Marcus gave her final instructions. Stay close to me. Smile. If anyone asks about our relationship, keep it simple. We met through mutual friends, fell in love quickly, married quietly. Can you do that? Yes, Arya said, feeling nervous butterflies in her stomach. He reached over and took her hand, his grip warm and steady. One more thing. Tonight, I need you to call me by my first name. Not Mr. Vale. Just Marcus. All right, Marcus, she said softly, and watched something shift in his expression. The gala was overwhelming. Hundreds of wealthy, powerful people in a ballroom that looked like something from a fairy tale. Everyone wanted to meet Marcus's mysterious new wife. Arya smiled until her face hurt, staying pressed against Marcus's side as he'd instructed. Downstairs, she found the dining room set for one. Mrs. Reeves, a kind-faced woman in her 60s, smiled warmly. "Good morning, Mrs. Vale." Mr. Vale left for his office at 6. "He said to tell you the car is available if you need to go anywhere." Arya sat down to breakfast alone, feeling the weight of the empty house around her. This would be her life now. Playing wife to a man who disappeared before dawn and probably wouldn't return until long after dark. After breakfast, she called Jenny to check on the gallery. "How are things?" "Arya, you won't believe this," Jenny sounded excited. "We got 3 new commission requests this morning. High-paying clients. And someone paid off all our outstanding vendor bills. Every single one." Arya closed her eyes. Marcus. He was keeping his end of the bargain. "That's wonderful, Jenny. I'll come by this afternoon." "Are you okay?" Jenny asked softly. "Really okay?" "I'm fine," Arya lied. "I'll see you soon." The hidden room. A week passed in the same pattern. Marcus left before dawn and returned late at night. They saw each other only at the occasional dinner, where they made awkward small talk like distant acquaintances. Arya spent her days at the gallery and her evenings exploring the massive house. It was during one of these explorations that she found the locked door. It was on the 3rd floor, in a hallway she'd thought led only to storage rooms. Unlike every other door in the pristine mansion, this one was old, wooden, with a heavy lock. Curious, Arya tried the handle. Locked. "Mrs. Vale?" Mrs. Reeves appeared behind her, making Arya jump. "Is everything all right?" "I was just exploring," Arya said quickly. "What's in this room?" Mrs. Reeves's expression shifted, becoming guarded. "That's Mr. Vale's private space. He's asked that no one enter without his permission." The vulnerable moment was gone, replaced by his usual controlled demeanor. "That was beautiful," Arya said. "The piece you were playing. What was it?" "Something I wrote a long time ago. Before I stopped believing in happy endings." His eyes met hers, and she saw a flash of something raw and real. "Welcome to your new life, Arya. I hope you don't come to regret it." As he walked past her toward the door, Arya felt an unexpected surge of courage. "Marcus?" He stopped, waiting. "Whatever your reasons for this arrangement, whatever you're hiding, I want you to know something. I keep my promises. I'll be the wife you need me to be in public. But in private, in this house, maybe we don't have to be strangers. Maybe we could try to be friends." For a long moment, he studied her face as if searching for something. "Friends," he repeated softly. "I'm not sure I remember how to be anyone's friend." "Then maybe we can learn together," Arya suggested. The smallest smile touched Marcus's lips, so brief she almost missed it. "Good night, Arya." "Good night, Marcus." After he left, Arya stood in the study, looking at the piano. She had no idea what she'd gotten herself into. But something told her that Marcus Vale was far more complicated than the cold businessman he presented to the world. And despite everything, despite the contract and the debt and the loveless marriage, she found herself wanting to understand him. The next year was going to be interesting. Part 2, Walls Begin to Crumble. The morning after. Sunlight streamed through the unfamiliar windows, and for a moment, Arya forgot where she was. Then reality crashed back. She was in Marcus Vale's mansion. She was Marcus Vale's wife. Even though she'd barely slept, she forced herself out of bed. "It's Mrs. Vale now," she said quietly. "Or have you forgotten we just got married?" Something flickered across his face too quickly for her to read. "I haven't forgotten. Have a good evening, Arya." He left her standing in that enormous entrance hall, feeling more alone than she'd ever felt in her life. The first night. Arya's room was beautiful in an impersonal way. King-sized bed with white linens, sitting area with a view of the gardens, walk-in closet already filled with clothes in her exact size. It felt like a luxury hotel room, not a home. She unpacked her small suitcase, hanging up the few personal items she'd brought. Her favorite paintbrushes. The photo of her mother who'd passed away when Arya was 16. A small jade bracelet her grandmother had given her for protection. Around midnight, unable to sleep, she wandered downstairs. The house was dark except for dim lights along the hallways. She found the kitchen, a chef's dream of stainless steel and marble, and was searching for tea when she heard it. Music. Piano music, to be specific. Beautiful and melancholic, drifting from somewhere deeper in the house. Following the sound, Arya discovered a room she hadn't seen during the brief tour. A study with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves and a grand piano in front of tall windows overlooking the grounds. And there, playing with his eyes closed, was Marcus. He'd changed from his suit into dark pants and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. His usual rigid posture was relaxed as his fingers moved across the keys. The piece was sad, filled with longing and loss. It made Arya's heart ache. She must have made a sound because Marcus's eyes opened, his hands freezing on the keys. For just a moment, she saw past his careful mask to the man beneath. Someone who carried deep pain. Someone who understood loss. "I'm sorry," Arya said quickly. "I couldn't sleep. I didn't mean to intrude." "You're not intruding. This is your home now too." He stood, closing the piano. "Tioch."